Hey there, how has everyone been doing? We are finally getting some nicer weather here, so it is feeling so much better. Definitely giving my mood a little bit of a boost. And today, I'm sure you can see the box here a little bit. We have the Smokey Glam palette. My husband actually purchased this for Mother's Day, which was very thoughtful of him, and it arrived the day after Mother's Day. Today is Monday, the 13th of May, and I thought that maybe we would do some eye swatches with this. So I'm going to clear off any eyeshadow that I have on my eyes right now, and we're gonna go ahead and zoom in and do some eye swatches. I'm very excited about this. So before we start with the eye swatches, I did just want to give you a nice little viewing of the palette itself and how it looks. She's so pretty. I always wanted the initial palette, never purchased it. It was a little bit large for what I prefer, and I felt like there were quite a few repetitive shades. So I'm really happy that Bellabeautebar listened to their consumers and went with a more curated color story, because this is definitely exactly what I think most of us are looking for. And I really do love that there is a white shade and there's basically a black shade in here. So you can have lots of dimension, and there's multiple different toned metallics in here. These look amazing just quickly looking at them. Of course, Hypnotic right here is the one that's like really catching my eye. So I'll be excited to swatch this on my eye. And of course, I'll insert some swatches on my arm for you guys as well, so you can take a look at. But let's go ahead and officially clean off these eyes and zoom on in. Okay, so we have a variety of brushes that we're gonna use. I just grabbed a bunch of them so that I don't have to clean them off in between. I'm gonna use these for the mattes, and then the shimmer shades, I'm gonna use my finger because that's typically what I always use. And as you can see, we've cleaned off the eyelids. Sorry about the makeup, it's been on all day today, so hopefully it doesn't look too terrible. And we're just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna use a little bit of powder all over the eye before we start. I typically don't use an eye primer. That's just personal preference. But I usually just use concealer over my eyes and then a powder over. So we are gonna start right up here with lace. And I'm just grabbing one of these brushes and we're gonna go ahead. Wow, look at the pigment on that. And I should have tapped, that's my fault. There's some fallout because I didn't tap it off. But you can see, wow, that is really pigmented. Going in with one more coat here. I did tap it off that time. So there is lace. Okay, right next to it is Angel Eyes. This has that typical gold to pink shift that is super pretty in my opinion. Very soft to the touch. It almost feels like a putty. Wow. Look at how pretty that is. Very foiled. You can see the shifts there. That is gorgeous. So there is Angel Eyes and lace, and we'll clean off and we'll go to the next two. Okay, we are cleaned off and repowdered, and we are going to move on to Corset here. This looks like a really pretty blending shade, crease shade. Light rose. Gonna go ahead and pack this on here. Definitely showing up a little bit lighter than I thought, but it looks really pretty. Definitely like a rose-like color. One more. There you have, that is the shade Corset. Very soft and pretty. The next shade is Love Bug. This is more of a rose-like color, definitely a little bit darker. So we're gonna move on to the next brush we have here. And we're gonna pack that on. Oh, pretty. In my opinion, Bellabeautebar mattes tend to be very blendable, and I feel like you can pack them up to give them a little more color. And depending on your preference, that can be easier for newer makeup. There you go, so pretty. That is the shade Love Bug. Definitely a little bit easier to use for those who are just getting into makeup, to pack it on and to add the pigment, as opposed to wha-bam, pigment in your face and then trying to blend that out. So I think they're very user-friendly, and those look really pretty. Okay, I did touch up a little bit underneath my eyes because I did have a little bit of fallout, but we are just powdered again on the eyes. I do want to note that the pink red looking color on my eyes is just my normal eyelid color. I am pretty fair skinned, and when I'm not wearing foundation, you can see some of the redness peeking through. So that has nothing to do with the previous shades. This is just my natural eyelids here. So on to the next one, and we're going to take another Singe beauty brush, and the next shade is Icon. I'm going to pat that off. There is some fallout on these. Pack that all over. Very pretty. This one's more like a raspberry color. This would be great on the outer corner or all over the lid, whatever you prefer to do. I tend to go with a lighter color to blend in the crease, and then use a color like this on the outer corner to give a little more dimension. You get the idea here. I love these colors. Such a pretty color. Can see, pretty pigmented there. I know that my blending is not perfect, but that went on pretty well. So next shade is going to be a shimmer, and this is Milk Bath. This one looks really pretty. I'm gonna keep saying that over and over if you haven't noticed yet. I'm just gonna keep saying that, and I'm sorry. I like to use my middle finger when I put this on, so I apologize in advance. This looks it looks pretty pigmented. We'll see if it's, oh yeah. I was wondering if it was gonna be a topper, but just touching it with my finger, I could tell that this seemed like this was gonna be pretty pigmented. I mean, this is not just a topper. And she is like a pure, like pearl silver. Trying to get my finger in there. Wow, look at that. There is such a glimmer quality to that. That again is Milk Bath, and this is Icon. Okay, bear with me here. I am trying my best. I will say that I do think Icon did leave a little bit of pigment on the eye, but that's okay. Most of us makeup lovers don't really mind, but I did want to give you a little heads up that it did leave a little bit of a pigment there. I did have to touch up here again with some concealer. I'm just gonna put some powder on, and then we are gonna move on to the next shades. hopefully you guys like seeing videos like this because it definitely does start to burn the eyelids here. So Playful is the next shade here. And this looks like it is another pink to gold reflect. Super pretty. And again, this feels pretty emollient in the pan. When you touch it, it's pretty mushy, almost like Play-Doh. No flakiness associated with it. As you can see, that one went on really well. But let's see if you can see the shift there. You can probably see it a little bit in on my finger there. Okay, and then Cuddles is, this one's a little more cool toned. This looks a little more like purplish. So Cuddles is the next one, and I'm gonna put that on my left eye here. So, ooh, oh, I like this one. So pretty. You could see instant pigment on this one. Very pretty. This has like a little bit of a purple tinge to it. So it's still pink, but it's almost like got a light touch of purple in it. Very pretty. So that is Cuddles right there. Cuddles and Playful. Playful is very fun. You're gonna make some amazing eye looks with this palette here. Okay, so we are on to Velvet Crush and Silk Teddy. These are two more shimmer shades. I did notice with the Flash On Silk Teddy, it does look like there's some holographic shimmers in there, which are always fun in my opinion. Velvet Crush itself looks like it's a shimmery plum. Again, looks super pretty. And let's go ahead and start digging in. So that is what it looks like on the finger here. I am just going to tap that off because it looks like I got some chunks. And it does look like there's a little bit of a gold reflect, duochrome in it. Wow. I mean, this is like one swipe in and look at, I mean, this shade could go on forever. So pretty. How many times have I said so pretty in this video so far? Well, that's not applied perfectly, but you guys get the idea. Just wanting to show off that shade up close and personal here. Wow. I mean, these shimmers are just show-stopping. So that was Velvet Crush. We're gonna go into Silk Teddy here. And you can see some of those holographic shimmers. Another super opaque. This one has more of a darker pigment. So definitely going to be a little bit darker of a shimmer. So again, Velvet Crush and Silk Teddy. Okay, so we are halfway through and getting harder and harder to salvage the makeup, but I just touched up again here underneath the eyelid. We are on to the second half, so it's going to be Pillow Fight and Pink Diamonds. So Pillow Fight again is very emollient to touch, and it looks like it's a lighter pink, and it has almost like a lilac purple shift to it. And I'm just trying to tap some of that off because it does look like I picked up quite a bit. Wow. Look at how reflective that is. Wow, it's almost like a mirror. So reflective. And then you can see very opaque. One dip with the finger is definitely more than enough. I feel like I almost had too much on my finger. So this is Pillow Fight. Pretty. Okay. And then Pink Diamonds looks like it has like This one isn't as emollient to the touch. It feels a little bit harder pressed, and it looks like it's a purple with a green shift. Green, actually, maybe that's blue. More like a blue shift with a gold. So this one is more like a regular shimmer. It's not as emollient feeling on the lid. I mean, it still obviously packs a huge punch. Look at that. So this is Pink Diamonds. We have Pillow Fight on this eye and Pink Diamonds. Both very reflective and both beautiful shades. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know that cleaning off that Pillow Fight shade, it looked like there were so many different sparkles in there, like some red and some purple. So super pretty shade. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that it does have those sparkles in there. So we are moving on to Whisper, which is like a perfect mauve blendable crease shade. So we are just going to tap some off. And this is very similar to my actual eye color, which are a little more pigmented right now just from cleaning off all the shades. And very pretty though. Yeah. And of course, the shade that I've been waiting for, Hypnotic, is the next one. Look at this. There's marbleization in there. There's like some blue, some purple, some pink. I mean, there's quite an iridescence to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pick that up, but it looks, and again, very emollient to the touch. This is what it looks like swatched on the finger here. And I tried not to pick up too much. I barely pressed into it. We don't want to waste any of this beautiful shade. Again, very opaque. These are not topper shades. These are full on pigment themselves. So you could do these as a one and done. I personally love, there's a lot of shimmer in it. I personally love to do these as like a one and done shade. Pop on some mascara and you're good to go. Kind of just blend it out and make sure it looks as blended as possible. But this again is Whisper and this is Hypnotic, and it certainly is hypnotic, isn't it? Okay, guys, we are gonna pull through. I have shimmer everywhere. The concealer is definitely starting to crust up, but we are gonna fight through this. We're gonna get the rest of these shades on the eyes. So the next shade is Night Dream, and I'm gonna pick up a new brush, another Singe brush. And this is definitely not meant for all over the lid, but we're gonna use it for that, just to see how this. There is some kick up here, so I'm just tapping that off. Pretty dark wine colored shade here. Beautiful shade. Definitely would be great for the outer corner. Some of the redness, again, is just from my actual eye, but this color is so pretty. Sorry, I know. I keep saying it over and over. This is Night Dream. All right, the next shade is a more gray toned shade. It's called Cuffs. This last row is pretty gray toned, almost like grayish color. So we are going to tap that off and pack it on here. And the initial brush was not super pigmented. You can definitely see it on there. Doesn't help that this eye is definitely a little more red right now. Okay, there you go. I can see it a little bit better. Will definitely show up more over a primer or some concealer. I just have the powder on my lid. So that is Cuffs. Okay, eyeballs, we are nearing the end here. And this shade is called Platinum. This is the last shimmer shade. And it has like pinky purple reflex in it. But again, it's more like that beigey tone. Again, this one is more emollient when you touch it. And this is what it looks like. You can see my finger is stained there from some previous shades. Very pretty. Another super reflective shade. So as I mentioned beforehand, these are really not topper shades. They're all gonna pack some pigment. Obviously, you don't have to put it all over the lid. You could just tap it in the center if you wanted to. So many different looks that you can have from it. This has purple sparkles in it for sure. I can see maybe some blue sparkles as well. These are all such unique, gorgeous shades. I seriously just love these formulas and how pigmented, and obviously this is not looking the greatest because I've swatched so many on my eye, but we definitely can make a beautiful look with this, and I definitely will be posting at least one look on Instagram. You guys should follow me over there, Beauty by Brenda 2017, if you want to check that out. But this is, again, this is Platinum. Okay, so the next shade is Nocturnal. We are going to move on to this shade here. This looks like it's got, yeah, it's a little brown, almost like a purpley brown. Ooh, yes. See that purple to it? Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Another great deepening shade. And there you are, Nocturnal is that shade. All right, we are on the last two shades here, Mystery and Smoked Out, and these are both dark gray, and this looks like it's almost completely black, but not quite. So let's go ahead and start with Mystery, which is just a little bit lighter, still very pigmented looking. So this is Mystery again. Went in for another one here. Yeah, this looks basically gray for sure. Another great shade to be used on the outer corner or all over the lid. Again, whatever your mind creates. It looks like it is quite blendable. It feels blendable. And yeah, this is Mystery. And the last shade here is going to be Smoked Out. So here we are. We have that here. I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. And let's see how much darker we can get Smoked Out compared to Mystery. Again, I think that these would show up better with some kind of eye primer or concealer on the eyes, whatever your preference is. And they would probably be more pigmented on that. But you can see, yep, this does look, I wouldn't say that this is like a fully opaque black, but this is definitely showing up more than the Mystery. So this is a Mystery over here, and this is Smoked Out. So we are done here. What do you guys think? I really hope that you enjoyed this little video here of me eye swatching. I find eye swatches to be super helpful. You can see what they look like on the eyes. You can see how they blend out. You can see how they show up with using a finger, with using a brush. So I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you guys got the Smokey Glam. I'm really excited to play with this more. I think that Bellabeautebar is one of the best brands out there right now, especially in the indie world. And their, oh my gosh, their shimmer shades are just amazing. But it is so difficult. Again, there's so many beautiful, amazing indie brands out there right now. They're so amazing compared to some of the name brand palettes. And this is why I truly just love the indie brands. And I am so thankful that I have this. So thankful for my husband for getting this for me. And we'll be looking forward to posting some looks on Instagram with this. So again, you guys can follow me over there on Beauty by Brenda 2017. And if you liked this video, please go ahead and subscribe and like this video. I would really greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.